I don't know if it's just because it's the weekend or if it's because I'm in my follicular phase, but the message coming through so strongly today is all about play. And maybe if this message is finding you, maybe you need to hear this as well, because we can get so caught up in our minds and all of the things that we need to be doing and all of the tabs that are open all the time and all the things that we're here to do and the purpose and the responsibilities and the family and the partner and the kids and the health practices and the self-care and the work schedule. Are you exhausted yet? Yeah. But are you scheduling any time for play? Are you allowing yourself any time to actually stop and celebrate that you even get to have or do any of those things? Because even the things that we're like, oh my God, my life is so exhausting. It's like, well, at least you have it, right? At least you have a life. At least you have children. At least you have schedules and responsibilities. At least you are alive. There are people today who are not waking up and they didn't even know they weren't going to wake up today. There are people today who are being given a life-ending piece of news. There are people who are on death's door right now, wishing, praying to have the opportunity that you have right now, to have the struggles and the challenges that you're stressing about. And you also have the opportunity to play, to celebrate, to not be so serious all the time. Ooh. There's so much time to be serious. There's so much of that theme in the world all the time. It's everywhere. And what if you chose to rebel a little bit today by choosing to play, by scheduling play? Because I know a lot of you are in this space because you don't necessarily have a place that you feel like you belong. You feel like you're kind of one of these chosen ones in the world where you're like, you've been through so much hell and you've somehow come through it, and maybe you are helping other people come through it, or maybe you'd like to help other people come through it, or maybe you just want to have this energy around you that it's possible so others can feel it, because you understand the ripple effect and how quickly that can change the world. You're one of those people. You maybe don't necessarily fit in or belong anywhere or everywhere you go. And that can feel isolating, and that can feel really lonely sometimes. And so sometimes in that loneliness and in that isolation, we can find this real safety and attachment. Hear this safety and attachment to our stresses, to our worries, to our responsibilities, to all the things that we need to show up for, because there is just that, a safety in it. There's a purpose and a belonging that we find, that we meet in that struggle. But the thing is, every now and then we look around at life and go, wait, why am I only always struggling? Why don't I get to have the happy life? Why don't I get to have the peace and the love and the wealth and the abundance and the happiness and all the things? What if it's because you're not making space for it? What if it's been because you're not making time for it? You're taking everything too seriously because your beautiful brain has realized that that's a way that you can have belonging. Because if you focus on everything that's wrong and worry all the time and stress and push and hustle, then you actually belong in a lot of communities, because that's our world, right? That's the common way to be. And if you feel like you don't belong in the world, or you don't belong in your family, or you don't belong in your friendship group, or whatever it is, but you can stress and hustle and worry, and then at least you belong to this global collective, or you can identify with a sickness or a label, and then you belong to a huge collective of people doing that, except you'll notice that none of them are actually getting better. Big pro tip in that. You might feel like a victim from your last relationship and want to hate and blame your ex, and there's belonging in that community, I can tell you that. And again, I will say, none of them are actually healing and building freaking awesome happy lives from those spaces. But it doesn't matter to your brain, because your brain's like, we want to belong. We haven't belonged. We felt like the black sheep. We felt like the odd one out, but we really want belonging because we see other people having it. But hey, here's a thing I can belong to. Here's a hustle culture, or a victim mentality, or a sickness group, or a we hate our exes group that I can belong to and get that sense of belonging. Except, have you noticed? Have you noticed that there is no play in those spaces? There is no play in those communities and that energy. And it's from you choosing, scheduling, making space for play, making space for not being so serious all the time, not worrying, not focusing on everything or everyone else that might be wrong or bad. It's in the absence of that, on purpose, in choosing to activate play and yumminess and excitement in your body and your energy and your mind, that allows you to not only find more of that in your reality and find more people who are like that to belong with, because they're out there, they're all around you, but you can't see them if you're focused on all the bad things and all the worry and all the stresses. You can't belong to a different community from there. You can't, as my favorite Abraham Hicks teaching says, you can't get there from there. You can't get there from there. And I have a feeling if you're watching this right now, you're already on this path. You're already doing it. You're already taking these steps, and it takes steps. It takes step after step. And sometimes there's a step back because you go into autopilot because there's a lot on your plate and you do it the old way. And then you're like, oh, I haven't played, or I haven't dropped the worries today, or I've fallen into that drama of that conversation or that group or whatever again. Silly me. It's like, yeah, that's fine. Sometimes there's a step back on the many steps forward that we're taking to reprogram your mind, to reprogram your life so that you can experience play and celebration and belonging and yumminess and happiness and peace and tranquility and success and abundance and all the good things more often than not, compared to right now where you're maybe experiencing seriousness and stress and struggle and hustle and worry more often than not. It's a step, maybe a couple of steps back. Love yourself for it. Continue to step forward. But the aim of the game right now, whether you're finding this now or a year from now or 10 years from now, is what has to happen for you to schedule play? What has to happen for you to not be so serious, for you to celebrate the fact that you're alive, to celebrate the fact that you have struggles, that you have worries, that you have responsibilities, that you have things you have to show up for, to celebrate your beautiful mind, body, and soul, for knowing that there is more, for being here on this earth, having been through so much hardship, only to want to help others, only to want to ripple good energy through this world, only to want to become better, to inspire other people to become better. Like, how freaking awesome is that? Why don't you let yourself enjoy that? Why don't you let yourself celebrate that? Why don't you let yourself play in that energy? Allow yourself to belong in that energy. And remind yourself that no matter whether it's a good or a bad day, that you're already doing it. And what if it's just about returning to play? I don't know if it's just because I put a bunch of deep heat on my neck because it was a little bit sore this morning, or if it's the energy, or if it just suddenly got really, really warm, but I am burning. So I'm going to tap out now. Actually burning. Maybe I need to go for a shower. Anyway, if this message landed for you, hit you in your soul, if you really needed it today, then drop some love, a comment. Let's interact. Let me celebrate you. Choosing to celebrate yourself, celebrate and play and come out of all that worry and stress and responsibility and hustle, even just for a moment this weekend. And share this with anyone that might need it. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.